Hi, thanks for joining us on Point. I'm Tim Murphy, and today we're on location. I'm downtown in the Canal District of Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm visiting Entomica, the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. Very unique for a city like Sault Ste. Marie to have an insectarium. Not everyone has one. It's a great tourist exhibit, but it's also a lot of fun for locals who haven't experienced it yet. I highly encourage you to come down. Tomorrow's the opening day, May 23rd. Entomica is open Wednesdays and Saturdays throughout the season and located in the Mill Market right down here in the Canal District. So we're going to go inside and meet Michael. They're setting up now. They're getting ready for the big opening tomorrow, but they're going to take some time out of their busy day to show us some of the bugs and maybe even spiders that you too can experience when you come to visit Entomica, the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. We're on Point. I'm Tim Murphy. We'll be right back. Welcome to On Point. Again, I'm Tim Murphy, and we are now inside Entomica, and I'm joined by Michael. Good day, Michael.
Good morning, Tim.
How are you today?
Excellent. And yourself?
I'm great. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to meet me down here at Entomica and talk a little bit about what goes on down here at the Mill Market. Let's first start with some background, Michael. So you have been working now with Entomica for how long?
It's been 2 years now.
2 years, and this entire organization started 5 years ago?
I believe it will be 5 years this spring. Yep.
Okay. Now, and it didn't start off the way that it's running now. It started off as a for-profit business, correct?
So I believe it did start off as a for-profit business, and we've now transitioned to a not-for-profit.
And so what's the actual working name of the not-for-profit organization that runs Entomica?
We're now operating as Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium.
Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. See, that's why I wore my glasses for this segment, because I wanted to look intelligent, because it sounds just, it says, you say Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium and you automatically sound smart. Are you?
do insects sound intelligent, like the name Insectarium?
I think it's a big word, Insectaria.
That's the Sault Ste. Marie part.
That's it's 5 syllables. That's a long word.
Yes.
Are you a scientist, Michael?
No, I'm not a scientist by trade, Tim. I often play one here. I put on a white lab coat, but no, I'm not professionally a scientist.
But you went to school for biology or something. What did you study?
Yeah, I have a couple Bachelor of Science degrees, but but not a professional scientist, for the record.
But a Bachelor of Science degree, a couple of them.
Well, it's a double major. It's environmental science and
environmental science. So did you ever anticipate at one time working in a place with all these bugs and the general public and doing what you're doing right now?
No, Tim. I don't think I even imagined such a place existing anywhere, let alone in Sault Ste. Marie.
Are there many in existence? Insectariums?
So there are a bunch around the world. There's not all that many in Canada.
Really?
That's Well, think of it. There's not an incredible demand for insectariums globally.
I guess that's why it changed to a not-for-profit organization, right?
I imagine that's part of it, Tim. Absolutely, yeah.
But that's great, though. So this is all then run by proceeds, donations, grant funding, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. So right now we operate primarily through the generosity of the public. We have a partner here in the Mill Market, and we're able to kind of piggyback on a lot of the traffic that happens here on Wednesdays. We have Wednesday markets starting tomorrow from 12 to 4.
Well, so is tomorrow your opening day?
Yeah, tomorrow's our opening day. So we have summer hours when the sun picks up and the farmers around here have the ability to sell some produce here. We open up twice a week at the Mill Market here, yes.
So you're here on Wednesdays and Saturdays, is that correct?
That's correct. So Wednesdays 12 to 4 and Saturdays 8 till 2.
Okay, so this is getting, now, we just covered the basics here. We're going to come back. We got to take a short break, only 60 seconds, so stay with us. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about how you came into this position, how you discovered the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium and Entomica. And we'll talk a little bit about what people can expect when they come down here. So we'll be right back in just a little bit. Stay tuned, 60 seconds. We'll be back with On Point with Tim Murphy and Michael and the Bugs. Thanks for staying on point. I'm Tim Murphy, and we're back now at the Sault Ste. Marie Insectorium, also known as Entomica, and I'm hanging out with Michael right now. Welcome back, Michael. Yes, we have noticed that there are a whole bunch of fruit flies flying around here, and welcome to my life. Fruit flies just follow me everywhere. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tim, we didn't have those fruit flies before you guys showed up this morning. I don't know where they came from.
Welcome to my life. Anyway, Michael, bugs. Have you always had an interest in bugs, or did this just happen because of the job?
Well, I would say I don't think I necessarily had a passion my whole life for bugs. I would have gotten into entomology and been a professional scientist like we were talking about earlier. No, I use bugs as a medium, like a tool, to educate the public and make them more aware of their environment and what's available around them to learn about.
Okay, so now you've just raised something very interesting. That I remember talking to John Dedes, John Dedes works for Great Lakes Forestry Research, and John was one of the he conceptualized this along with some other people. He was a partner in bringing all of this to fruition. Fruition is just why all the fruit flies are here, because of all the fruition that's going on. So John, I remember John telling me about when you study species of bugs and even moths and all that. Is a moth considered a bug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you study the way that these creatures live and the way they survive and their environments, it actually can be an indicator for how we as humans can do better. And is that true? They sort of have a way of surviving that we can learn from?
Well, I think all life has some meaning in it that we can take some lessons from. Absolutely.
And so, what you were talking about using bugs as a platform can you expand on that a little bit about sharing with the public?
Sure. So Tim, I'm sure you've noticed in today's society, often you'll enter into a conversation with folks, and it often comes up where folks seem to have some fears, not necessarily from personal experience. I'd call them irrational fears, and one that many folks seem to have is that of spiders or insects.
I was going to say spiders for sure.
Absolutely. Do you have this fear of this arachnophobia?
Arachnophobia. Only the ones that look like they could hurt me. I'm not afraid of smaller spiders. I'm not afraid of necessarily getting bitten by a spider. And I am one of those people who if I see spiders in my house, I will pick it up in a tissue and take it outside and dispose of it. I don't necessarily squish them or kill them. But the one, like the wolf spiders, freak me out. They freak me out. They are huge.
Yeah, that's fun. We can keep the wolf spiders outside where they belong.
But the great thing about wolf spiders is they kill so many bugs.
Yeah, it's great to have pet spiders around the house. Absolutely.
So when I have a wolf, as much as they scare me. I mean, they don't scare me, but they're a little scary looking. But I leave them because I realize that they're reducing for mosquito populations and stuff, and so I allow them to cohabitate with me around my property. So arachnophobia, you can deal with that by exposing people to the bugs?
Yeah, like you just did, Tim, explaining it as simply as that. Welcome to the team. You're our newest volunteer. Thank you.
I don't volunteer. You remember I told you about the property where the spiders live?
Yeah.
I got a mortgage to pay, so even I charge the spiders rent. That's how cheap I am. Okay. So spiders. You have spiders here?
We do have at least a couple spiders here.
Do you have any poisonous spiders here?
No poisonous spiders. Nothing that's going to hurt you too badly.
Too badly. That makes me happy. Okay, so now you've been with Entomica, you said, for about 2 years, and you were originally from Sault Ste. Marie, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
You lived here for a while. So was this the reason you came back to the Sault to work at this job?
No, I actually came back for a family event and stayed because of Entomica. This is a really cool experience to, again, bring people more in tune with the environment around them and get people outside again.
And what about volunteers? Do you rely heavily upon volunteers to run the operations here with the public?
We're very grateful to our volunteers to be able to open for donation days on markets. And so folks can come in as they please and spend as little or as long as they want perusing the bugs. And we have volunteers to help them out in that experience.
How can somebody volunteer if they're interested, if they wanted to come and work at Entomica as a volunteer or for the Sault Ste. Marie Insectorium?
So, Tim, they can drop down to the market on a market day. Again, Wednesdays 12 to 4, Saturdays 8 till 2. or they can get on our Facebook page and send us a little shout there.
The name of the Facebook page is?
It's just facebook.com/Entomica.
/Entomica. Okay. So we're going to take another short break, Michael. Okay. And then when we come back, I think we're going to start taking a look around the facilities here. Maybe you could introduce me to some of your bug friends.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay, this is so cool. We're going to be back in 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Carrying on with Michael here at Entomica, the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium located at Mill Market, and their grand opening is tomorrow. Stay tuned. On Point. I'm Tim Murphy, and this is On Point on TV, and I have a new friend here. So, by the way, in case you're just tuning in, we are at the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium, not Torium. Insectarium, right, Michael?
That's correct, Tim.
And this is Michael, and this is Filipino. What's it called?
This is Phyllis.
Phyllis, and her real name is?
Well, she's a leaf insect. The particular type of leaf insect that she is a Phyllium philippinicum.
Phyllium philippinicum, and she comes from the Philippines.
That's correct, Tim, yeah.
And if you look, you can see that she actually looks, now, you said it's a she, and I said, how do you know if it's a she? Do you turn it upside down and look? But that's not how you do it. You said yes, and you tricked me.
It seems I did trick you, Tim. So,
that's not how you tell if a bug is a male or a female. You don't turn it upside down and look. How do you tell?
Well, you could try that first. If that doesn't work, Tim, you could look it up. So based on her size, we know she's a female. She's much larger than the male of her species, yeah.
Oh, is that common?
That's very common amongst insect species.
I wonder why.
I think it has something to do with all the egg production.
She needs to be bigger to make room for those eggs.
Often so, yes.
Also, she relieved herself on my hand during the commercial break, and I was told that when a bug poops on you, you can make a wish and then blow it away. So I made a wish that she doesn't...
Don't tell them, Tim.
Oh, it was just simply that she didn't poop on me ever again. Oh. But that...
Now it won't come true.
Oh, and there she goes. No. So this is Phyllis. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about this particular insect?
Sure. So she's camouflaging like a leaf, as you can imagine.
Yes.
Guava leaf in particular, and that's her favorite food. So she would hide and live amongst the guava leaves and trees.
She hides and lives amongst the leaves that she eats?
That's correct, Tim. If you'll notice as well, she doesn't appear to be the healthiest looking leaf. And so part of the reason is so that she's not feasted upon by other herbivores.
She, unlike me, she lets herself look ragged and old.
Very much unlike you, Tim. Yeah, that's actually by design for her.
I see. She's got brown spots on her, and the edges of what if this were a leaf, it would look. You're right, not necessarily yes.
Yeah, and not.
What's that word? It wouldn't look. You wouldn't want to eat her.
You would not want to eat her. It would not look delicious, Tim. And so, yeah, if you were living with Phyllis in the trees, you'd avoid Phyllis, and you'd focus on a more delicious-looking leaf.
And then, does she serve a purpose other than just eating leaves? I mean, is that a good thing for the trees?
I'm sure it's a great thing, not so much for the trees, but for the ecosystem in general.
See, this is what we're talking about. It's about the ecosystem and about how every animal has a function that performs to keep us all living together in a healthy environment.
That's right. It's all connected, Tim. I'm not sure what's keeping us in check right now, but...
I'll tell you what's keeping me in check right now is the spider in your hands. Okay, so we talked about spiders. We got about 2 minutes before we have a break, so tell me about what you're... I don't want them to get too close in case the spider decides to, eat Phyllis.
No, it shouldn't be a problem. Rosie here is pretty friendly. She's already been fed today.
Look, I think Mike's getting a close-up on Rosie. Her name is Rosie?
Yeah, she's a Chilean rose-haired tarantula. We've had her for more than a couple of years now. And Tim, I was wondering if we could exchange insects and you'd...
She's a tarantula? Yeah. Okay, you take Phyllis. Look at how you just take Phyllis like that, and I just hold Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
That's how it's done.
Yeah. So I now have a tarantula in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Arachnophobia is gone.
It is. I mean, it's just like holding a big cat with 8 legs. A little hamster with 8 legs. Oh.
So you can pet her a little bit.
She's got. Oh, there she goes. And look at her backside. That looks interesting. What's going on back there?
Well, right in the back here, she's got some butt fingers, some spinnerets that she uses to lay the silk.
Did you just say butt fingers?
I might have said that. I might have said that, Tim. And so yeah, she'll lay a nice, comfy bed for herself.
out of her butt fingers.
Yeah, she can also leave like a breadcrumb trail so she doesn't get lost in her journeys.
Come off it.
No, for real. Yeah.
Like Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Except not to attract young children, but...
I have a question about young children. Do you, when you do this, when people come down here to the insectarium at Mill Market on Wednesdays and Saturdays, do the kids get to actually come in and have spiders like this crawl on them?
Yeah, if that's something they want, Tim, we certainly don't want to force it. If someone's not ready to overcome their fears, as you were today, we won't force it upon them, but totally voluntarily.
That's amazing. Okay, so we're going to take a break, Michael, and we're going to come back with some more creatures from the Sault Ste. Marie Insectorium, Entomica, located at the Mill Market. Michael, we'll be right back in 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
All right, thank you.
Okay. We're back on point with Tim and Michael at Entomica, Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium, and I have a new friend on my hand. Michael, who is visiting us right now?
Tim, I was hoping you could name this insect. This is actually an orchid mantis, though, so it's a type of praying mantis camouflaging as an orchid flower.
Okay, it obviously is camouflaging. It's funny because the first one was a leaf and now it's a flower. So I'm going to call her Flora.
Okay. Appropriate,
okay?
Yes.
But is it a girl?
This one's a girl, yeah.
Okay, so disguised as a flower.
Indeed.
An orchid. So where would this bug be? Where is it? Where would we locate this in the world?
So you could find orchid mantis around the world. This one happens to come from Madagascar.
Ooh, cool. Now, while she's been sitting, Flora? While Flora's been sitting on my hand, I've noticed several things. Okay, it feels like she's staring at me. Oh, she just turned her head to look at the camera. It is like it actually has this head that turns, right?
Yeah. Oh, the head turns all the way around, and it seems like she's targeting your artery, actually. So this is a blood-sucking praying mantis.
Wait, you're telling me this now?
Well, yeah, Tim, I thought you were well aware.
No, I know very little about blood-sucking praying mantises, believe it or not. I wore my glasses to look smart, but I'm not a genius. Michael, is it going to suck my blood?
No, you're fine, Tim. So this one actually we fed this morning as well, and so it eats primarily just moths and other insects.
Oh, okay. It doesn't eat rotting fruit?
No, absolutely not.
Because we were in the other room and there were a lot of bugs around there again, and Michael said that they eat rotting fruit, so I just wanted to make sure I'm in good shape here. So, now, the other thing about this, okay, so the head goes all the way around. Maybe I should rename it. I could call it Regan, like from The Exorcist, because her head spun right around. Also, you said it has great eyesight?
Yeah, really excellent peripheral vision and, 3D vision.
It just turns its head again. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, so it's a predator. It's constantly looking around its surroundings, trying to figure out where it would have to move to next, if need be.
It's a predator, so this one kills things? Oh,
yeah, this one kills other insects. So most of what we have are totally harmless herbivores, but this one is, in fact, a predator insect.
And you said it will primarily eat moths?
Moths, or actually whatever it can take down. So there are praying mantises out there, Tim. Believe it or not, they'll take down mice, even birds.
A praying mantis is large enough to kill a bird or a mouse?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Okay, so I'm glad that this is a small version. Oh, what's going on now? Look at, it's cleaning its face. It's totally, can you get a close-up of it cleaning its little face? Oh, Flora, you're so tidy.
She's very cat-like, Tim.
Okay. And how many of these do you actually have in captivity?
Only a couple today.
Oh, okay. I've also seen some of the bugs that aren't alive that John Dides has in his collection. He keeps them at the ministry. At one time, he had a bunch of them here, and he showed them to me. Is it true that it's not unusual for some of these species, and we're talking about bugs that have deceased, these are dead bugs, can be have values as high as $20,000?
So that's entirely possible, Tim. I don't have any knowledge of that personally. But yeah, it's quite crazy that some of these insects can command value on the market, even when dead. Really interesting.
Where do you go to buy a $20,000 bug?
I wouldn't know. The dark pools of the internet, I imagine, or some black market in India, maybe.
That's crazy. Okay, so what are the hours here again, Michael? Remind me.
So people can book a private tour at any time. They can get on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Entomica and book a private tour. And we're open to the public Wednesdays 12 to 4 and Saturdays 8 till 2.
Private tours? You mean, so for instance, a classroom could come in here?
Yeah, classrooms. We go into retirement homes, seniors' homes.
Come on, you actually visit retirement homes and seniors' homes with the bugs?
Yeah, we do programming with them. We sell them butterfly kits so they can watch the evolution of a moth or butterfly.
Oh, wait a minute. My mother's in a nursing home, and they had the butterflies in their lobby. I remember that.
That's entirely possible, Tim. We do often have our butterfly tent as well, so people can walk in or wheel in the wheelchair and check out all the moths and butterflies.
That is amazing. And then, I also, you have a series that's been going on with the National Geographic. Is that true? Were they in here shooting something with you guys?
Well, National Geographic funds a live streaming program where classrooms around the world, actually, not just North America, can tune in. And so they have a program called Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, and we're filming a segment later today. And yeah, we'll be live streaming a tour here.
And that goes anywhere, anybody who wants to watch it. And call it by the seat of your pants, what?
Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, so you can check out their live streaming YouTube channel if you're not lucky enough to join in one of the select classrooms.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to come back a little later, in 60 seconds again, and we'll meet some more of your resident bugs. So stay tuned again. On Point with Tim Murphy, and my guest today is Michael from the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. We'll be right back on Point. Back on Point with Tim Murphy and Michael here at Entomica, otherwise known as the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. I'm getting it. Michael, I understand that even though we've not known each other for very long, you've already decided to give me some jewelry.
I do have a gift for you today, Tim.
You're a man after my own heart if you give me jewelry, Michael.
I hope you accept.
What is it? Okay.
So this is this is an earring I have.
That's a bug. That's not an earring. That's a bug. I don't know how to break this to you. That's not jewelry. That's a bug. Is that on my ear right now?
Hang on there, buddy.
Oh! Wow, that's crazy. That actually, it's feel-good jewelry because it tickles me. And is there one to match my other ear?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's only got 3 legs. Can she hang on that one?
Is that true? Does she only have 3 legs?
Well, yes, I think. Isn't she 3-legged?
Well, she's 6-legged, so maybe she's down a leg. Maybe she's 5 legs.
Oh, okay.
5.5.
Michael, why did she lose a leg?
It just kind of happens, Tim, as some of these insects get older. They often will lose part of a limb, and often they'll regrow that limb as well.
Can these beetles regrow limbs?
No, these beetles unfortunately cannot regrow limbs.
Do these beetles have a name?
Yeah, these are...
Don't tell me Ringo, Paul, George, and... No.
Well, I was going to tell you the type. So the type of beetle is a frog-legged beetle from Thailand.
Ah, okay. And why are they so pretty in color?
Well, they're so pretty in color because they have like microscopic prisms all over their exoskeleton, and so you can actually find them in all colors of the rainbow.
Beautiful. And you were telling me that perhaps somebody might actually use these later on for real jewelry.
Yeah, so no one I know, but it seems that in other parts of the world...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, in other parts of the world, they'll actually use these dead insects for jewelry pieces.
But not when they're alive like you've done to me.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, just because it's really hard to keep them in place. Is that one all the way upside of my head right now?
Yeah, so we'll
okay, put it back
on there.
Put it back on my ear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, my brother once made my mother earrings out of cat jaws.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they dissected a cat at his high school, and he was allowed to keep the cat jaws, and he drilled little holes in them and put earrings on them for my mother.
How did she enjoy those?
She never wore them. But I think that if he'd given her these bugs, she might have enjoyed them a little bit more. So, were you here when we taped when we did the Amazing Race Canada?
I was here, Tim, yeah.
So for those of you who might not have seen the episode, I played the train conductor on that one for the train thing. And then, were you on camera?
Not like you were, Tim. You did an excellent job.
Oh, thanks. Woo woo. Did you talk on camera? No.
No, I did not.
But did we see you in the background or anything?
It's possible. I've never watched the full segment myself.
Okay, no, I watched it. The Amazing Race Canada, and they filmed that one, the challenge they had to do, and that they had to stick their heads up inside. Do you have that box around anywhere?
Yeah, we do have those boxes around. We actually use them quite often as a part of fundraising campaigns.
So they had these acrylic boxes, and the contestant had to put his head up inside, or her, and then they had to count the number of, was it cockroaches?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
The number of cockroaches that were dumped on their head. So their partner had to count the number of cockroaches that were crawling around their head, right?
Yeah.
And you guys actually put some stuff on the tops of the people's heads to make the bug. Did you put some food up there to make the cockroaches want to go there?
I believe someone did do that, Tim. I can't recall who that individual was.
It was probably John Didi's. So that led to you making an exhibit out of those plastic boxes. Is that correct? I think so.
Yeah, so well, it's actually turned into a kind of a cockroach challenge, if you will. And yeah, we use it as part of fundraising campaigns around Sault Ste. Marie.
Amazing. What a great idea. So people can come down here and use that bug challenge to raise money for their... These are really tickling me. Is this one still present?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hanging on strong.
Good. How many bugs would you have at the insectarium at any given time?
Several hundred, Tim. So we do have several cockroach species. So even just with cockroaches, we have probably 200 or 300 there. And then, yeah, with everything else, maybe 400 or 500.
What's the largest? Like, okay, because a spider's not an insect, is it?
No, not technically, no.
They're called
Well, they're arachnids, yeah.
arachnids. What's the largest bug you would have?
That would be the Malaysian jungle nymph, Tim.
The Malaysian jungle nymph. Oh, well, that sounds sort of almost like poetic. Like you're going to go to the jungle and there'll be like a little nymph running around. But in this case, it's a bug.
Well, she's a jungle fairy. She really is.
A jungle fairy. I'd like to meet that jungle fairy. Is there a chance that could happen?
Absolutely, Tim. We'll definitely make that happen today.
Oh, stay tuned. I'm going to meet a jungle fairy. On Point with Tim Murphy. We'll be back in 60 seconds. We're back on Point. Tim Murphy here with Michael from the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. And as promised, you have brought me...
This is a Malaysian jungle nymph, Tim. I promised you a visit with the jungle fairy. So here you are.
Oh, she's making noises.
She makes a little bit of noise, but she's really friendly, Tim. I promise.
She's quite picky, too.
Yeah, she is. That's
I don't mean selective. I mean she...
Well, she's selective as well, Tim.
Then I should feel fortunate.
She does seem to like you.
Yes. She's covered in spikes.
Yeah, so that's part of her defense, Tim. And so this is Princess Zelda.
Princess Zelda. Well, hello, Your Highness. She looks like something I would see in a horror film.
I would have to agree with you, Tim. It seems that some horror films have drawn inspiration from the insect world.
For her face, she's got pincers. What are those pincers for?
Well, those are like mandibles, so that's what she would munch on the leaves with. So she is a vegetarian.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she won't be chewing on you today.
That's good. Thanks for not eating me alive there, Princess. What's her name?
This is Zelda.
She's making that sound again. Hi, Zelda. Okay. So she hisses to scare things off as well?
Yeah, she can kind of make a noise with her wings here. And yeah, that freaks some folks out. But
it clicks.
she'll also simulate...
It clicks and hisses. You're a hissy clicker. And you got a face that only a mother could love. Now, but apparently other things love her because who's the prince over on your arm? Is this her?
Yeah, so this is Link here.
Oh, here, I can take... Oh, I'll take Link.
I'll just give them both to you, Tim.
Oh, I get them both. Is this my lucky day? You're so generous.
Yeah, thank you.
He's crawling on top of her. Well, I mean, he is her boyfriend, so I guess that's... Hey, boy, settle down. His name is what?
This is Link. So Link and Zelda here, and yeah, it doesn't even look like they're the same.
He certainly is Link and Zelda.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how the females are often quite larger, and that's yeah, indicative here for sure.
And what does he? Is there much in the way he doesn't look as defense? Like can he defend himself the way that she can?
Well, he's a lot smaller, right? But he's a lot more mobile, so he can fly around, whereas she's pretty limited in her movement.
Does he do things like go and get food when they have babies? Is that a silly question?
So they just eat leaves. They live amongst their food all the time.
Oh, okay.
So he only needs to travel to find his next mate.
His next mate?
Yeah. So, I mean, typically it would probably only be her, but...
What's she doing with my ear right now, Zelda? Is she climbing my head right now?
Yeah. So, Tim, she does, in fact, believe that you are a tree, and she would like to get to the top and find the best fruit up there.
Well, knock yourself out there, Zelda. So they don't mate for life, obviously.
No, the males are actually, generally speaking, quite a shorter lifespan.
Oh.
And so she'll outlive him, most definitely.
Is she also larger because she is the one that has the power of birth? You know what I mean?
Oh yes, absolutely, Tim. She's loaded with eggs, and that's part of what keeps her, unable to fly.
She wouldn't be laying any eggs in my hair, would she?
She probably would not find your hair the appropriate medium to lay her eggs. Typically, she'd seek out some soil or moss. And she does have the distinction of laying the largest egg in the insect world that we're aware of.
She weighs really in the world.
In the world, the largest egg, Tim, probably no bigger than a pea.
Well, that's pretty big for an insect.
Quite large, in fact, the largest.
That in the world, apparently. And how many eggs would she lay at a time? Do you know?
Just one at a time, but maybe 2, 3 a week.
Really?
And then we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait a full year for those eggs to hatch.
Come on, that long?
True story, Tim.
And then how long would they? Do you know a life expectancy of these bugs?
So from egg through the end of their lifespan, maybe a year and a half.
Wow, they spend a year getting ready to be hatched, and then they only live for a year?
Not long at all in the insect world.
Boy, oh boy, it seems kind of like you guys got ripped off a little bit, but, and where do they live? Malaysia, you say?
Yeah, Malaysia, and they make the most of it here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay, so if you'd like to come down and she's tickling my eyelashes right now. If you'd like to come down and experience this for yourself, and I highly recommend that you do because this is pretty cool. And it's unique. I mean, not every city has this. You don't have these opportunities everywhere. You got my eyeball, right? You don't have these opportunities in every city.
No, I would have to agree with you, Tim. It is a pretty unique experience, most definitely.
Come down and experience this at Entomica, the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. Michael will take good care of you. He won't let anything hurt you. Will you?
No, absolutely not, Tim.
Okay, he's going to prove that to me in the next 60 seconds as he pries these bugs from my face. We've got one more segment coming up. We're going to show them a couple more of the residents that you have here.
Quite a few more, Tim.
Oh, we'll be right back. On point. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we are back on point with Michael at the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium, Entomica. Michael, what is this creature on your hand?
This creature on my hand, Tim, this is an Atlas rhinoceros beetle we have here today.
Rhinoceros, hence the horns.
Hence the horns? Yeah, absolutely.
It has 3 horns, unlike a rhinoceros, which has 1.
Yeah.
Is that another horn right in the middle?
Yeah, well, you can count that one too, but yeah, definitely 3 large horns.
And fish hooks.
Fish hooks for feet, absolutely. The tarses here are pretty sharp.
They're digging into you. Oh, is that uncomfortable for you?
No, it's just a slight pinch. It's just trying to get a good grip, that's all.
I think it left scratch marks on your skin.
It's entirely possible.
How old is this bug?
So this bug, this beetle here is only a few months old.
A few months?
Yeah. But it took a couple of years to get to this point here.
Because they're inside are they larvae?
Yeah, absolutely. So they go through a whole process.
Michael, I had to struggle to find the word larva. That's how I stopped taking science in grade 10 as soon as I could.
Larva is not a word we use every day here, Tim. So.
No. So
Totally
it grows to this size inside something?
Yeah. So it's actually a much larger larva, and it comes out in its beetle form as such.
And where does it live?
So this one is found in Indonesia.
How do you get all these bugs here? These beetles and bugs and spiders and oh my.
Yeah, so luckily we have a bunch of well-funded partners that are able to assist us in acquiring some of these insect species from different parts of the world.
Is there anybody I can ask to find out how much it might cost to bring a bug like this all the way from Indonesia to Sault Ste. Marie, or do you have an idea of what kind of money it costs?
Oh, to bring it across from Indonesia, I wouldn't know. So people end up, to save a whole lot of money, developing colonies on their own. And so you have folks all around North America that have different types of beetle colonies. And so we'd seek out one of those to partner with.
I understand. Okay. And so Michael, did you have to learn all of this stuff after you got the job here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a job where you're always learning on the go every day.
Can I hold him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's gonna get caught in my sweater. Hang on.
It will definitely get caught in your sweater, Tim, and again, it is pretty prickly.
Okay. I just want to experience this, and if it's he doesn't want to let go of you. Let's just.
Tim, this is one of the strongest insects in the world. He can lift over 100 times his own weight. This guy. So if you were to extrapolate that out to humans, he'd be the strongest animal in the world.
Oh! Okay, I understand how he can be strong. And does he? You said they like to wrestle.
Yeah. So part of the reason they have their horns, Tim, is the males wrestle with each other for territory and mates. Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen, you don't got to fight with me. You can live wherever you want. I don't need you to be telling me I don't want to wrestle.
No, I get a good grip. He knows this is all his territory.
He knows he lives here at Entomica.
Yeah, absolutely.
This place now is full of aquariums and they're not called aquariums when there's bugs in them. What are they called?
So we call them vivariums. They're living terrariums. Yep.
Vivariums. I like that.
Yeah, just displays for the insects that we travel around with.
So you some of these stay here and some travel, or do these ones actually travel too?
They double as both. Absolutely.
Wow, that's got to be an ordeal, though. When you go to the nursing homes and the schools and stuff, do you take these containers with you or others?
No, indeed, we take these particular containers, Tim.
And what do you travel around in? Do you have a vehicle that takes what?
Yeah, we got a bug van. Yeah, we're hoping to get some funding to.
Is it a Volkswagen?
It's not.
That would be a bug, like a beat. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. That would be a good one. If we had a West Valley, that'd be ideal for all of us, I think.
I think we should try to get a sponsorship. Hey, Volkswagen, if you're watching us, come and sponsor these lovely people and provide a Volkswagen Beetle bug vehicle so they can transport their stuff to nursing homes and schools.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've done my part now.
We could do our next segment, Tim.
Okay. Listen, we've got a minute left before we go to break. Tell us again now what your seasonal operating hours are. You're opening tomorrow, May 23rd.
Yeah, so now that we're open for the season, Tim, the public can come by for the market here on Wednesdays, 12 to 4, and Saturdays, 8 till 2.
And admission is how much, Michael?
Tim, we're just open by donation. We want to make it as accessible to the public as we can. So folks can come in here as they please.
So by donation, come on by. It's Mill Market, and it's Entomica. It's to St. Marie Insectarium. And you'll visit Michael and other staff members and volunteers. And please be generous, because we are very fortunate to have this here in our city. Not every city has the luxury of having rhinoceros beetles climb on your hand. So I do encourage you all to come down and experience this. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tim.
And we're going to just have a wrap-up segment and say goodbye in just a minute. So I think you're going to get me suited up for that occasion.
We'll get you ready, Tim. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Folks, stay tuned. We're going to say goodbye to Michael and the gang here at the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium Entomica. We'll be right back on point. Hi, this is Tim Murphy coming to you live from Entomica, also known as the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium. I've made many new friends today, and I encourage you to come down and experience this firsthand for yourselves. Entomica, the Sault Ste. Marie Insectarium, is located at the Mill Market, and they're opening starting tomorrow, May 23rd, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and you can check out the time. Go to their Facebook page, facebook.com, and it's the Entomica. So we'll see you here. Thanks again to Michael and the staff for taking such good care of me today. And I'm sorry if I've been a pest. A pest. See, that's like a little bug joke. Okay, we'll see you on TV next time. On Point with Tim Murphy, Tuesdays through Fridays, 8 p.m. Thanks for tuning in.